Hello everybody, welcome to my new channel called Leeton. I'm Jason, and this channel is all about growing vegetables and garden projects as well. Now, I am not an expert gardener. This is not a how-to channel. This is a how I do channel, and it's just about sharing what I'm up to and hopefully inspiring some people, maybe getting some advice of other people as well to help me. And it's just a channel about the vegetables and the projects I'm doing in this house, in this garden. So me and my partner moved into this house last August. It's a 1930s build, needs renovating. We're doing a lot of work in the house, but we've got quite a big garden. And I've been growing veg for about 15 years, but for the first time I've got a plot big enough to have a stab at making us self-sufficient in vegetables. So what an opportunity. And we also are intending on getting a few chickens. We're going to be putting up a polytunnel. That's quite a project in itself because it's a bit of a half and half, bought and homemade. It's a bit of a combination where I've bought a cheap frame that I'm going to adapt, strengthen, improve, and then fit a proper polytunnel cover on it rather than the cheap cover that would normally come with the frame. So that will be going down the centre here, but I'll discuss that in more detail in another video. This video is the introduction to the channel, so what I want to do in this video is show you the area that I've got to grow in, show you what we've got growing right now, which is really it's just get something in the ground this year while we're continuing to organise everything and get everything sorted out. So the soil isn't fantastic at the moment, etc, etc. I am planning on doing the no dig method, but next door there's a building site and I got chatting with a foreman, and we had 90 tonne of topsoil dropped over the fence. So this ground here is about 3 foot higher than it used to be, and it used to slope down into that far corner, and with that soil we've been able to roughly level it off. It needs a lot more work yet, and then we've got another area at the top which we can also grow vegetables in, and then there's the rest of the garden that way where we're going to be building a pond and all manner of other projects. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you a few clips now of the work that we've done so far with the soil being dropped over, cutting down some massive conifer trees over here, 4 big trees, just to get to this point. And then we'll have a look at the veg and the seedlings that I've got growing and bring you up to date with where we are now. So stay tuned. Okay, so this area of the garden here I call the lower veg plot, and as I mentioned it ran downhill that way, and in that far corner it was probably 3 foot lower than it is now. So we had 90 tonne of soil dropped over there from that building site into here. Needs a lot of improving, but it's certainly leveled the ground up, and that's a massive help. The shed, the old poultry shed there, that's going to be going, and the conifers at the back we will trim this side, trim the branches off at fence height, and then we're going to build compost bays across there with a roof so that we can collect the water and keep the bays drier in the winter months. That shed there is going. We've got a lot of sheds on this property. We don't need them all, and we'd rather make some more space and use the wood for projects that we've got going to be happening. So what I'm going to do now is take you up to the higher part where I've also got veg to grow in time, once I get it sorted out. So this is the upper plot. As you can see, I've been doing some logging today. There's some of the fence posts that, trees that we took out. Huge trees. So the shed in the corner is going to go. Those sheds are going to go. We're going to have chickens at the back there. And then this area is going to be turned over to veg as well. So this is the upper plot. And that's the lower plot. Between the two, I estimate there's around 250 square metres. The actual growing area will be about 100 square metres, because obviously there's going to be pathways, we're still going to have some sheds, etc, 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 the chickens and everything else. So about 100 square metres of beds, and that's quite a big area. It's going to be the biggest area I've ever had, so really looking forward to getting stuck in. Before we can do that, as you can see, we've still got mounds of soil, and once that shed's gone, these have got to be levelled out, it's got to be graded, ready to put a polytunnel down the centre here, and that polytunnel is going to be about 7 by 3 metres. And as I've said, we'll do another video on that as and when we get around to it. I'm an engineer by trade, so there's going to be a lot of fabricating things, building things, etc, to do all of these projects. So what I'm going to do now is show you the temporary compost bins that we've got, and roughly what's in them, etc. So these two compost bins, both temporary, they're not going to stay here. As I mentioned, we're building the proper setup over there. This was the first pile that we started, and this one's mainly made up of kitchen waste, a lot of moss and weeds because we scarified the lawn, that went in there, and wood chip, because when we cut down the conifers, all the small stuff we shredded, and we had a big pile out in the garden, and I've been slowly adding that in to the compost. It's gone in a green layer, brown layer, green layer. This pile got up to 65 degrees for about a week, and then it slowly cooled down. I turned it once, and then it went back up, slowly cooled down, and it's now ambient temperature. So it's just going to sit there now all summer, and hopefully go out onto the beds as and when I get them organised. This was the second pile. This one, grass cuttings, kitchen scraps, weeds, bit of turf, that's in there, and the Christmas tree got shredded, that's in there. A good mixture in that one. Again, that one got up to about 65 degrees and cooled down, but I've not turned it yet, just not got around to it. So I've got two piles here, they're both shut down now, plastic on the top, and I'm going to leave them this summer just to do their thing. We've got a third one we started, only got it filled a couple of days ago. That's in another part of the garden. So this is the third pile. Filled it a few days ago, right to the top. Again, layer of greens, layer of browns, layer of greens. It's not permanent, this won't be staying here. It's just that we've got so much waste from around the whole garden. We've got to put it somewhere, and we're probably going to end up having to build another heap somewhere as well. But it's going to help us out in the long run. So this pile's currently warming itself up, and I expect it to get up to about 60 degrees. So these seedlings and plants here are ones that I sowed March time. Some in April, some of the tomatoes I sowed in April. And we've got some herbs at the back, some parsley and mint, but I think they're old seed, so germination hasn't been great. Got a couple of moneymaker tomatoes there. They're just waiting for somewhere to go in. These are cauliflower, sorry, sprouts. Had a real problem with aphids, real problem. They got attacked really badly, and I found that the best way of dealing with them was to uncurl the leaves where the aphids are and get a small soft paintbrush and literally just brush them out and wash them out, and that seems to have helped a lot. They've now gone. I've noticed a few hoverfly larvae and ladybirds around, so hopefully the predators have now moved in and they're doing the work for me. We've got beefsteak tomatoes there and cherry tomatoes here. They're awaiting their positions. This is Calabrese. Again, aphids got the hold of that, but much better now. And peppers, red peppers down here. So they're the plants that are waiting to go into the ground once some space becomes available. Okay, so this is the 90 tonner topsoil that we had delivered, and I threw some horse manure down on the top because the soil has been buried on that building site for many years. It used to be open cast there, then a farmer's field, so there's probably not that much life in it. So in here we've got leeks, which I've just scattered and covered with a bit of compost, and they're coming through. Parsnips, which I sow in the dissolvable cardboard pots and then just plant them. We've got beetroot, which has been multi-sown, 3 or 4 in a module. Got spinach, which seems to be bolting. We had a really hot spring and then a lot of rain. I think that's made them bolt. Monge 2, coming here. They were sown probably beginning of May in module trays and then planted out. Here, just got some stuff growing in pots for now, purely because the beds aren't ready. So we've got some white Lisbon, spring onions, mixed salad leaves growing in these pots, strawberries, now starting to ripen. And I did a little experiment. I took some of the topsoil and mixed it 50-50 with just some multi-purpose compost, and these strawberries haven't done as well that are in the mixture compared to the ones that are in pure compost. So that would indicate that the soil here that we've had dropped over the fence isn't that fertile at the moment. Obviously that can be improved over time, but it's going to take a bit of time, and it's something that I'm going to constantly have to work on, using the no-dig method as much as possible, and adding manure and compost to the top of the soil, and letting the worms and the rain do the work. So in this area I've got Charlotte Earlies growing. My intention going forward is to grow potatoes in pots and containers, but just because of the way we're having to live at the moment, nothing's really made ahead. So it's just easier to put them in the ground. We've got Charlotte Earlies there, and we've got King Edward, main crop on the back. I'm not expecting massive results this year at all because, as I said, the soil isn't that fertile. It's been dumped over the fence by an excavator, and I've put a video up. But it's just nice to get something in the ground, even though we're not expecting massive results this year. And then along here we've got some more Monge 2. So in these beds we've got some nice salad leaves growing. We've got red onion here, white onion here, and carrots. Now for the carrots I just dug a trench, spade depth, and filled it with a 50-50 mix of multi-purpose compost and sharp sand, because I've got lots of sharp sand here on site. It makes sense to use it. And these carrots, I've thinned them out, and the tap roots are actually getting straight down, so that's encouraging. I'm optimistic about the carrots. cucumbers floating around the place as well. That polytunnel or greenhouse I can use. They're outside and I'm going to have to see how they get on. Okay, so I just said we don't have a greenhouse, so you're probably wondering why I'm stood in one. This greenhouse is in completely the wrong place. It's north facing, it's behind some sheds, it gets no sun. I don't know why it's here. It was here when we moved in. The idea is that this is going to get moved up to the upper plot where it will be in full sun. But for now, it's just got some seedlings coming through. So this is my second sowing, major sowing of the year, if you like. So I've got leeks growing in here, multi-sown. Cabbage here, individually sown in modules. Multi-sown onions in these two. Some more parsnips in the dissolvable cardboard pots. We've got kale, cauliflower, multi-sown spring onion in this row, mixed salad leaves, beetroot, spinach, mustard, rocket, dwarf beans, sprouts, broccoli, climbing bean, and some more Mod 2. I can't remember what all the varieties are off the top of my head, but that's what this is being used for at the moment. Purely just getting things going, just a bit more sheltered in here. But like I say, it isn't getting much sun at all. It's in completely the wrong place. So that's the video, that's the channel, that's what it's about. I hope you have enjoyed the video today, and if you want to see how this project develops into quite a large veg plot for a house, and all the little projects that we're going to be doing, adapting a commercially bought polytunnel frame with some DIY aspects to it, just to get a budget polytunnel that will withstand, hopefully, the elements, and how we do the compost bins, how we build the pond, etc, etc. There's a lot of projects coming up, and it's going to take time. It's going to take a couple of years probably to get it all done, but that gives me the opportunity to make lots of videos and share what we're doing with you. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please subscribe to the channel. It's a new channel. Please like the video, please tell people about the channel, and thanks for watching. See you next time.